Hello, everybody. Francis here. Today, I just want to demonstrate how attackers hack IoT devices. So maybe you've already noticed that IoT devices are usually not so secure. Okay. So the reason is attackers, because of that, try to target it and maybe use it to break onto the network. So today we are going to be using a light bulb, like you saw there, to demonstrate this. I'm going to drop a link of this light bulb on the comment section. If you want to maybe order it on Amazon and follow along, you can absolutely do that. Okay. So this is an IoT smart bulb, and we're going to be using it for our demonstration. The other thing that we might need is, depending on your machine, maybe you would need a dongle, like a Wi-Fi dongle, to allow you to connect your virtual machine to wireless access point. Obviously, wireless access points are needed because that's where most IoT devices are connected. Um, but that's not the only place, right? So in this case, it's wireless, but most of the time they are connected using wireless network. Okay. Um, Another tool that we might need is Bettercap. Okay, so this tool. Um, Bettercap is quite straightforward to install it on your machine. It is used for Wi-Fi hacking and reconnaissance, things like that. Okay. So yeah, we've named the things that we need: the light bulb, the dongle, Bettercap, and those. So we are going to start now. We come here. The first thing we want to do is maybe look for to switch Bettercap on. That's the first thing. And this is the command you can use to do that. But maybe for your sake, for instance, if you're not sure whether you have Bettercap installed, maybe the first thing is to check whether you have it on. Okay. So maybe you can use this kind of command to check it. Okay. So Bettercap version can check which command, which version of Bettercap you have. And that would mean, knowing that you installed it. So if you have something like this as a feedback, it means you have it on. If it says you don't have it, you can absolutely install it. Sudo apt install Bettercap should help you do the job if you don't have it already installed. Okay. So now we have Bettercap installed. The next thing would be to on it. Okay. So we are also using the sudo command. So this is the command you can use to switch Bettercap on. Okay. Obviously enter the password and now it's on. The next thing I may want to do is to, maybe, for example, turn, network discovery on. So for that, I could use net .recon, something like that. Um, just straightforward, turn it on, okay? And it shows that it's kind of working because of the feedback that we got, right? So if we wanted to show, the discovered network, then we can use something like net.show, okay? Net.show like that, and we can see different kinds of network that we can listen to, okay? So this thing we are seeing is the gateway, for instance, for the IoT device. Okay, so we can further explore that. We know for sure that there are some IoT devices on this network, right? So if we know that, we can research a bit more on those possible IoT devices that are on that network based upon the information we found. I've done just that, and one of these particular one, they have an API that we can install, right? So I can straight up install that API by just using things like this. So I'll go to another terminal like so. Let's see, sudo, and the name of the API is you know Yeelight, but I'm going to use this pip to install it. Okay. So this command might do it for you, only this one. Okay. If it doesn't, if it gives you error, so because certain version of maybe Kali or Ubuntu or operating system may not work with just this bit of the command. So in that case, you can add this bit. Make sure you're working on a virtual machine because adding this bit might actually cause some confusion on how your machine works. Okay. So I'm using a virtual machine. I don't really mind. So I go ahead and run it. It's going to show me that I already have it, which is expected because I already have it. So requirement already satisfied. So I go ahead and just continue on, right? So the next thing that I want to do is then to, since I've installed it, I will switch to that API. So it's Python based. So I switch like so, okay? Onto Python and I start issuing Python commands. Okay. So from that API, I want to import one of the functions, which is discover bulb. That would allow me discover different bulbs that are in that network. So I would say something like from Yeelight, um, basically this. Okay. Since I already have it here, we can just so I can use this type of command from yeelight import discover bulbs because I want that functionality. And once that is done, I can now call that function. For instance, that. So discover bulb, okay? Because it's a function, obviously, I'm going to add that. Okay, so I think there is a typo. I need S because you can see here there is S there. Okay, so discover bulbs, call the function, and we should see. So now it's telling us all of different bulbs on that gateway. So you can see here, okay? The IP address of the bulb is this, the smart bulb. You can turn the smart bulb on and off, as you can see here. You can do color changes. Okay, so you can also change the brightness, you can make it dim, you can do different kind of things, right? Now, how this smart bulb thing is originally designed to work is like you get the bulb and then you get the app. So you download the app, install it on your phone, and then you can remotely control how the bulb works. So you can switch it on and off without being in the room or even in the house where the bulb is, right? And you can do that remotely. It brings you convenience. So maybe before you step into your home, you want to make sure that the bulb or the heater or whatever IoT devices is on, and you on it remotely, right? Or you want to use it to monitor the room where your keys are at, turn the bulb on and off without actually going to that room. It could also be that it's any other kind of IoT devices, maybe camera, and even at a industry setting, different kinds of IoT devices, right? So you also have the thermostat, which you can turn on and off remotely. There are so many different kinds of IoT devices. So it brings that convenience. And the normal way to control this particular light bulb is obviously to use something like the app, the actual app. So you get the bulb, you install the app, and you control it by the app. Okay, that's how it should work. Okay, so when you have the app, you can turn it on, you can turn it off, as you desire, right? The app should look something like this, okay? And if you turn it on here, all right, it will turn on. And I'm going to do that now using my app, okay? So if I turn it on, you see there, the camera, it turns on. If I click it again to turn it off, it turns off. So I can on it and off it. I can change different things. So for instance, maybe the configuration and the brightness and many other kind of things. that you can change on the bulb. Okay, so for instance, if I turn it on and I want to reduce the brightness, I can reduce it like so. So you see, I can increase the brightness as well. I can change, how it is. So for instance, like so, okay? So different ways that I can do that. So there are also many different ways, things that you can do. So I'm just clicking different buttons on the app and things like that. Okay, so you can do it as you want, right? So the idea is to give you that particular um, control so that you can control it the way you want, all right? But then an attacker would like to bypass this app, okay, and use it for, many other different things. So, for instance, to maybe scare your kids or manipulate the room, or maybe even scare an adult, okay? So let's see. Yeah, all of these are different functionalities on there. But like I said, an attacker do not care about that. They want to hijack it and use it maliciously. All right. So how they do it is what we're doing now. With all of this now that we have, we can basically control the app, control the light without the app. Okay. So in that case, it bypasses your phone, which you are supposed to use to control it, and an attacker can then maliciously control it. In this case, it's just a light bulb, a smart bulb, but in many cases, it might be other things that, can cause more impact. But also sometimes they gain access to the IoT device and through it then access the network as well. Right. So what I'm going to do now is to then control it directly here. Okay. I'm going to try to control it directly from this, and we see how that works. So now it's on. Um, I may decide to turn it on and off. But before I do that, I need something. I need a function, another function. Okay. So I've discovered the bulbs that's there. The next thing I want to do is to call a function that is called bulb. Okay. I want to use that bulb function to refer to this exact smart bulb that we have there. So the next thing I'm going to do is basically, you know, declare a variable. So I've declared a variable here called bulb control, and I'm using that function of the bulb, which I've imported, and I'm passing this IP address, which I see here. So this should give me the control of the bulb. So for example, I can then say bulb control, you know, I can say bulb control, okay? If I say bulb control, which is the variable that I've just declared, and yeah, I could just do anything, any of these things here, I could do it. And any of those things I can do with the app, I can also do it, okay? So in this case, let's say bulb control that maybe turn off, something like that. Um, Again, I'm using a different keyboard, so don't mind the typo. So bulb control, yeah, that's what our variable is. You can see from the camera that the bulb is on now, and I'll try to turn it off without the app. And it didn't work this time. And that's because you can see that it should be like a function. Okay, I'm calling a function, and I should include that. So let's see now if it works. The bulb is off, as you can see there. Let's see if I can turn it on. Okay, like so. Um, the bulb is on again. So again, turn it off is off, turn it on is on. So now without the app, an attacker can potentially control the IoT devices like this. Okay. Before you can do this, you need to have broken into the network where the IoT device is. Okay. So we haven't done that part. I'm going to do that next time. So tune in again to see how attackers break into Wi-Fi networks and then compromise things that are connected in that Wi-Fi network. Don't forget, this is for educational purpose only, so nothing unethical is permitted to be used with this video. So the video is completely for ethical reasons. Yeah, thanks very much. Tune in again to see that part of how attackers try to compromise networks. And don't forget to subscribe. Cheers, everybody.